We have hit the hour, so we will go ahead and get things started. William, thanks for kicking us off with the Q&A box. It showed us all where it is. But we are here for the Concept3D mid-year roadmap review. Here myself, I'm Courtney Conover. I am the head of our client success team. I am joined by Andy Marshall, who leads our support and education department as well. We're super excited to go through this today. If you have any questions throughout this, please pop them in the Q&A box. Either Amy will get those answered or we'll save them until the end and we'll do some live answering as well. I'm really just excited to share what we've been working on, what's to come with the rest of the year across all of our products, and just keep all of you updated and in the know with what we've got going on at Concept3D. Let's kick things off. Today, we're going to go through all of our products that we have today. So first, we'll start with the interactive map, kind of review what's new with each product, and then what is to come throughout the rest of the year as well. So we'll do the interactive map, our 360 tour, our localist events calendar, and then you might all be wondering, what is this room reservations? We will talk about that, an exciting new update from our side. We'll re-review our support options. We have added something additional in the past few months, so definitely want to highlight that and make sure everyone's aware of what is available to them for those branches of support. And then we do have some extra time for Q&A at the end. So like I said, ask questions. We love your feedback, love to hear from you. So we'll go ahead and jump in. So I'm going to start with this slide that I've got up here. I know that this is probably nothing new to anyone attending this webinar today. But reason being I want to start with this is because you're going to see throughout this presentation a lot of accessibility focused product updates. Reason being was that new Title II ruling with the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires all of the web and mobile content to be WCAG 2.1 AA compliant. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful. This may or may not apply to you pending your institution, right? This is a bit more focused on public schools, community colleges, and public universities. But at Concept3D, our core accessibility is super, super important to us and making sure our products are accessible for everyone to use. So regardless of if this is fully applicable to you and what compliance you need to reach, this is a really big item for our product team. So I just wanted to raise this to let you guys know as to kind of why you're seeing a lot of focus on that as well throughout this presentation. All right, so with the interactive map, shocking, we'll start here with our accessibility improvements. So there has been a lot of work that has gone into this so far this year. What you're seeing on this slide is only a snapshot of some of those pieces of the improvements. So some big ones I wanted to call out are updated CMS field labels for the alt text and the titles. So this is one that you may come across as you're in your CMS. So when you're uploading an image or editing an image, an alt tag is required. And so we basically just updated some of the labeling within there to make it super, super clear for our users, as well if you've got someone in the CMS that isn't quite as familiar as to what we're asking them to be filling out with alongside those images that they're uploading. Another one is the accessible route selection for the walking segments and driving directions. So I'll explain this a little bit more, but at the base of each of our interactive maps is those map tiles. And so those directions are typically coming from Mapbox or Google, pending your provider. And so what we did is we made some updates to ensure that the route, if you're going from off campus to on campus, the accessible route is there available for you if you're going from driving to walking. So really just improvements across the board with that experience for our accessible users. Some other highlights, improving the skip to map link. We refined our heading structure with our maps. We made a completely new accessible sidebar structure. The map tour and the media gallery got some improvements, keyboard navigation and modals, the 360 panos. So I put in more because, like I said, this is just the kind of tip of the iceberg with this. On our help site is our release notes, and within those release notes is going to be every single detailed improvement that we've made. So always feel free to check that out. In addition, I put a note up here, we do have updated VPATs available for all of our products. So if that is something that you or someone on campus is in need of, just go ahead and let us know and we can get those over to you as well. That will show all the details of the accessibility of these. All right, another big one for the map is our dynamic labels 2.0. So pending when you joined us at Concept3D, you may have been way back with us when all we had for label options on your renderings were those burned in labels controlled by our production team. If you were with us at those days, appreciate you all. If you're newer to us, you might have been adopted onto the dynamic labels 1.0. This is basically our next iteration of that. What our dynamic labels are basically the ability for you to control, edit, add, make updates to those through your CMS. So the beauty of the labels in the dynamic labels is that you don't have to come through our team to make updates or changes to them. And so some updates that we made with these is now you can click directly on the text labels within your CMS to make changes to them. So we know one of the pain points with the first version of this was, trying to find the label to edit, either within your sidebar or searching for them. So now you can click right on those labels within the map itself. You can add the abbreviation in addition to the name. So we can accommodate both of those. If you've got building codes or building numbers, you need to include as well. There are still some styling options for those dynamic labels. You'll see on that image on the right-hand side. So fonts, text colors, things like that. And there's no cost to utilize these. So if you are not currently utilizing the dynamic labels, I highly, highly recommend moving over to these when you're at your convenience, especially if you've been maybe sitting on a few label updates that you've been needing to make. That's a great time to make the switch over to these, and then you have full control of those through your CMS, just like the rest of your map content. Last but not least, with this new upgrade, we did improve the printability of these labels through that print map generator tool. So the print map generator is an additional feature. If you do have that within your map, we went ahead and improved the printability of these within that too. All right, so kind of more on the sharing side for mobile, we went ahead and incorporated QR code sharing a bit more seamlessly within the sharing modal. So this is something that you do have to enable within your CMS. It's just going into your CMS and checking the box to show the QR code in the location. So if you don't see it quite yet, that's where that lives. And so this is designed basically you can share a custom QR code for the specific view that you have of the map. So you absolutely can get one for just kind of your default view that you have. But let's say you wanted to share one of a specific walking route from a parking lot to your admissions entrance. You can go ahead and create a QR code for that. So our tip here and what we've started to see customers utilize this for is actually adding these to your on-campus signage for really quick and easy access to your interactive map. So just a really great way to incorporate the two and make it a whole lot easier to share those directions with people. All right, AI. I'm sure everyone is seeing this kind of come across their desk. How are we doing it? What are we doing with it? Um, so recently what we did is we incorporated AI within our description builder. So we added a new AI description builder to take advantage within not only your map locations, but also your map tour locations. So the great part about this is that you can customize the tone, the creativity level. You can have a chat with it to adjust with the responses that you're getting. But ultimately, what this tool is designed for is just to help with creating the descriptions. If you want to make them a little bit more of a tour guide style, add it a little more creativity. Sometimes this can be a really big hurdle when getting content created and making sure it's really meaty. This is to help you make sure that you're giving enough information to your users without requiring hopefully too much time on your end to get those created. So I'll go ahead and play this quick snippet so you can see what it looks like. But this is a pending and existing location. Within the description, you'll see that AI button. You can go ahead and adjust the tone and the creativity. And then once you go ahead and hit send, it'll take a couple seconds just to work its magic. And then you can either approve to append the content or you can completely replace it. So this is great if there's things that might need a refresh within your map itself. Again, map tours are an awesome place to take advantage of this to give more of a tour guide view without having to put too much, time and effort within getting those created. Get out of that. There we go. All right, so wayfinding. Wayfinding is a really big priority for us always. We are always trying to improve this feature on the map itself. Accessibility has been a really big pusher for this. But two pretty noteworthy ones are the level selection within multi-level buildings. So one of the hurdles, especially for some more um, I would say complex interiors. This is a way for when users are using their location as a starting location, they can actually select which floor they're on within multi-level buildings to give them some more accurate navigation with that wayfinding tool. So it really improving the user experience on that side. And then on the right-hand side, kind of in tandem with what we talked about on that accessibility piece, but we also improved the transition from driving to walking if you're taking advantage of our wayfinding feature as well. So all around, if you're going from off campus to on campus and switching to those walking directions, that experience has improved tremendously. Okay, so what is to come? So for the remainder of 2025, you'll see this across all of our products is our WCAG 2.1 AA compliance. You're seeing green and black here. Green is our fully committed. We will absolutely have those completed in 2025. The ones you're seeing in black are our strong candidates. So this is what our product team is really looking into to fit into this year as well. But the green is the full commitment for 2025. So I do have a little asterisk, speaking on behalf of my product team. Just please note that these definitely are subject to change based on priorities, feedback, and resource availability as we're reviewing what's to come with this. But definitely the compliance is number one on our list. Second on the list is called drop a pin or parking experience. So let me actually show you a few images to speak along to this. This is a really cool feature I'm excited about. So some of the requests that we've gotten a lot from our customers is wanting some more ways to personalize the map from either user to user or student to student. So this is the ability to start to do that. And what it looks like is being able to drop a pin, whether it's saving my parking spot or a custom location. So let's say I park in the parking lot, I save my pin as my location, and now I can go ahead and go and start using the map. And then I can return back to the map later and find my saved location. So this is, like I said, the beginnings of this feature that we're developing, but with the long-term goal of hopefully, maybe you can create my favorite section within the map. Maybe you're a new student, you want to save all the locations for where all your classes are. So really exciting to make this a bit more of a personalized experience that people can interact with on the map. Third is a bulk update option. So we definitely have the bulk import and the bulk export. One big piece that we love to fill is the bulk update. So we know that it can be a little bit of a tedious process going through the map. What do I need to update? How quickly can I get updated? So this is looking to achieve a faster and easier way to update content that you need to within the map. Fourth on here is front end user role for categories and interiors. So what this is referring to specifically is locking that type of content behind a user role login. So one of the examples of the need for this is wanting interiors on your public facing map, but locking that behind a user login to access those. That's what that roadmap item is looking to achieve. And then lastly is an AI component for alternative text for the images. So since accessibility is top of our list, we know that not everyone is an expert in creating alternative text. So trying to develop a tool to help assist with that to keep the map up to date. Okay, moving along into our 360 tour. Starting again with our accessibility improvements. Much of these updates were for all users. So while it's definitely including those with visual impairments and assistive devices, we made a lot of updates to the share modal to enable just an easier sharing experience and making sure it's accessible for all users. So this applied to, the copy link, color contrast, social icons, everything across the board within there to make sure it's accessible. Second on the list is our mobile navigation. So the drop-down menus were improved for the color contrast and some better tabbing. And then lastly, the cookie notice experience. So we improved the look and accessibility of that as well. So some nice changes there to make sure we're passing the accessibility that's needed. And one really big change I want to highlight, you may or may not have seen some announcements about this already, but one big piece that we added into the 360 tour is 360 panorama hotspots. So this was absolutely a request that came from our wonderful customers of wanting to be able to use more rich media, or, I have 10 spots, but I have 25 panoramas. How do I incorporate that media? So that was what this was designed to solve. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like here. But it's its own hotspot type, and then you can click on the hotspot and it'll take you into that 360 image. So this is a really, really great way, especially if you maybe have a lot of outdoor imagery, if you wanted to put these types of hotspots on buildings, highlighting really specific, unique items inside your buildings. Just a really great way to take advantage of more media without having to add additional tour stops into that tour. So very excited about that addition that we made there. All right. And then on the roadmap for the 360 tour, so first and foremost is that compliance and reaching that by the end of the year. That is green, that will be completed. Second and third, these are strong contenders. So looking to pull AI into the 360 tour product as well, kind of in the same form of assisting with that content, helping to generate some descriptions or append maybe some nice updated content to that description. So that's where that's focused on. And then also in addition are some control design updates. So I'll show a couple pictures here on this next slide. But when we say control design updates, so kind of focus on the look and feel of the front end of the 360 tour. So this might focus on those controls in addition to some of those like hotspot look and feels. So just some minor style tweaks that we want to make there just to make sure that the tour is staying up to date, as well as just based off of the customer feedback that we've had of what you're liking. All right, moving into the Localist events calendar. So we had a couple exciting updates to our register feature take place so far this year. So the first one is our payout account access control. So what this means is if you have payout accounts added to your account, we now offer designing more granular access for those shared accounts. So this was really important, allowing you all to define exactly who can view or who can use the specific shared payout accounts. So this came along with the new setting. You'll see it titled Restrict Shared Payout Accounts. And so this just allows more control in your hands of who has access, who's viewing that, in order to take more advantage of those payout accounts in that register feature. In addition to that, we made some substantial changes to the accounting and kind of making it a bit clearer for the canceled tickets. So there was some confusion around kind of the financial reporting of canceled versus voided and what that means and what that looks like. So we made some updates. Canceled, you'll see here I highlighted transactions that were initiated but never completed, and then voided are the tickets that have been deliberately invalidated by the event organizer. So we saw a really positive impact on reporting with these improvements. Within your admin dash, it now reflects that much more accurately for those revenue purposes with that register feature. All right, next within our event promotion, so we've incorporated the email header and footer templates into the event promotion emails, right? So these event promotion emails can be used to send notification if you want to send it day of, day before, maybe an event's canceled, just any really updates you need to send to anyone who's registered for that event. So now it's basically just consistent, clear branding for those emails to ensure that the look and feel is the same, it's matching your calendar. And if you do have developer theming, you will see those customizations reflected in those emails as well. So just some nice branding updates made to that piece. All right. Moving into Bulletin, one really large change that we made here was introducing the capability of SMS reach out. Reason being we did this is basically to improve the communication reach, especially pending your audience of who is attending that event. Maybe email might not be getting through, email might just not be the right way to reach them, or maybe it's not a social type of thing that you want to use to reach those users. So SMS is really targeted to do a multi-channel approach to help maybe improve overall attendance as well as engagement with that event. These can also help ensure some timely reminders. So really just an added benefit. It does require users to input their phone number, and they do have to opt in to receive those. So within our help articles, it talks all about what that looks like when we ask users for that information. But there's two ways in which you can incorporate this. So you can actually create the post from the event itself. You'll see that image on the left-hand side. We have that SMS option. And then on the right-hand side, when you're in the bulletin campaigns, you can actually create an SMS campaign as well directly from that bulletin tab. So a couple options to take advantage of that feature. We're really excited about it, and just there to help improve the communication and the outreach of your events in another way. Okay, so I'll briefly talk about this because I'm going to talk about it again in a couple slides. But one big thing our localist events team has been working on it as well is our integration with our room reservations product. So reason I bring this up for our localist calendar users, you may or may not already see this in your admin dash. If not, you will definitely see it soon. Underneath the event creation area within the admin dash, you'll see a reserve a room. Wow, that's a mouthful. Reserve a room coming soon button that you see over here on the right-hand side. So this is referring to our new room reservation software. This is designed from the ground up from Concept3D. We are creating it to seamlessly integrate across our products, right? We've got our event calendar, we've got our interactive map, connecting the two on showing the space and booking the space for your events. So really this is being created to reduce redundant work, creating a smarter way to manage locations as well as in events and making sure there's no redundancy in the work needed to do so. So I'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit, but you'll see that button is kind of a intro into a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes with that. All right, so looking at the localist events roadmap, again, the green are the committed for this year, and then the black is a strong contender. So number one, again, that compliance. So we are achieving that across all of our Concept3D products this year. I'll shout out again, if you need the VPAT, just let us know. Happy to get that to you. Number two is really exciting. It's very close on the horizon. We are going to introduce the ability to view the time zone of an event in the user's local time. So there's only one time zone for your calendar instances. That can, often be confusing, especially if you've got maybe a couple different locations of campuses or some virtual events that might be taking place of attendance all over. So introducing the ability to view those events within that local time to ensure there's no confusion of when it's taking place, when to join, etc. Another very exciting one is our branding updates. So you'll see the language extended header layout. So historically, we have our out-of-the-box options with our branding with localist calendars, which is great. And then we've also got the ability to go into the theme editor, right? We can adjust in HTML and CSS. What this bullet number 3 is trying to solve is to make that easier. So we're introducing more options out of the box. So that way it's going to reduce the amount of having to go into the HTML or CSS and the ability to accomplish a lot of what you would do in there just out of the box with the selections of our WYSIWYG editor of what we have included within our base theme. So this is very exciting, especially for our users that might not have those web developer resources available to you, but you want to do a bit more customization. We are designing this to remove the confusing coding areas and make it really nice and easy for you to customize and brand the calendar a bit more. So exciting stuff there. And then lastly are some bulletin and register improvements. So what this is referring to is some analytics and reporting around the bulletin feature and the register feature. We're still working through exactly what that's going to look like, but that's kind of what's on the horizon of what we're looking to improve as well within that platform. All right. Speaking a little about room reservations, I obviously gave a bit of an introduction to it, but I want to call this out specifically. So, this is a brand new product to the Concept3D suite. We've been working on for about a year now, I would say. Starting at the beginning of 2025, we do have a few alpha customers that are working on this with us and putting it into motion and providing us feedback on those changes. But basically, this product is designed for space scheduling for the higher ed space. So we wanted to design a smarter way to manage campus spaces. So we have created a modern scheduling software that will seamlessly integrate across our products as well. What I mean by seamlessly integrating, as you saw within that view a couple slides earlier on the localist review, was localist and room reservations will speak to each other. So you don't have to go into each system and make updates in each system, right? If you reserve a room through localist, it will connect back over to our room reservation software to get approved. Something that has been recently rolled out in this as well is managing different materials within those rooms. So if you need to manage AV equipment or tables or chairs or setup, all of that is going to be built out within this room res software as well. So really just trying to prevent double bookings, reduce redundant work. We know we are a little newer to this space, maybe 25 Live is what a lot of our customers have used for a lot of this in the past. So if you're interested, want to learn more about this, give us a shout and let us know. Like I said, it's in our alpha, moving into our beta phase at the moment, but we're really excited at the integration between the products and the ease and the time saved that this is going to lead to with our customers. So very happy about this. And yeah, we're happy to talk to you and loop you in if it's something you're interested in learning more about. All right. So last slide before we move over into Q&A is just reviewing the customer support options you have here at Concept3D. So everyone does have their client success manager. They are your go-to point for all of your account needs. So keeping you updated on features, reviewing your account scope, what your functionality, everything you have with your products, your renewals, any strategic items you want to talk about, they're a great resource there. They love to talk to you, love to meet you face to face. So always feel free to reach out. If you ever don't know who that is, just reach out to support and we will direct you in the right direction. The second item on this list is our support site. So Andy here, the star himself, he runs that and keeps it up to date, almost updating it weekly, if not daily. This is our go-to place for 24/7 help. If you ever feel like you need something that might not be there, just give us a shout, but always updating with more videos and articles for your use there. Third, we've got our support team. So always feel free to submit a ticket. This is great for technical support, any issues you're coming across the product, our quickest way to get that support. So that is a great resource in addition. And then lastly, so reason being for calling out this slide is we introduced over the past few months our office hours. So this is a weekly open session to meet with a couple members of our client success team. It is limited seats, so you do have to sign up, but we do limit seats in order to make sure we give you the time and attention for your need that you're joining with that day. So this is a great place of if you want to set up something and you're just not quite sure how to, or you're getting stuck on something or want some best practices, tips, tricks. It's really just an open hour to come meet with the team and help you out with the products. So those are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And you can find the sign up link on our help site as well. All right. Moving over into Q&A, if we've got any questions, would love to hear them. Definitely want to say again our appreciation for everyone that has joined this. We love to share our updates with you. We hope you maybe learned something new that you can take away today and get updated within your platform. Always feel free to, if there's something we didn't cover that you're interested in, that you're really passionate about, definitely let us know. We are your eyes and ears to the product team as well, so we're happy to to speak to them as well. Jennifer, great question. So the SMS has launched already. If it's not something you're seeing in your account today, go ahead and contact your client success manager and they can work on that with you. But the bulletin plus SMS is absolutely live and ready to be used. No problem. Thanks for the question. All right. Any other questions we can answer? Jill, are there extra fees for SMS? So yes, it is an upgrade for the SMS. It is a newer feature. So my best recommendation is contact your client success manager and they can review your account and your contract specifically and take a look at where you are with that feature. But yes, it is an additional cost to take advantage of that SMS. Great. Any other questions? Oh, they're coming in. I feel like every time I say that, we get one more. I love it. Stephanie, is there a date when all map customers have to switch to Dynamic Labels 2.0? Yes. So we are sunsetting support for Dynamic Labels 1.0 at the end of this month. So by the end of the year, we need to have everyone off of Dynamic Labels 1.0. But as of the end of July, we no longer support 1.0. So what that means is if there's any issues with your 1.0 labels, they will not be addressed by our product and development team. So if you need any assistance switching over to 2.0, just give us a shout and we're happy to help you. But at this point, yeah, support will be ending for it. I think, gosh, tomorrow, I can't believe it's July 30th. So in a day or so. So that is when the support is being retired for that. Any last questions we can answer? All right, I think that's all we've gotten through the box so far. Oh, we got another one. Do you have to have interior floor plans on your map to take advantage of floor level wayfinding? Yes, that is a great question, Stephanie. So, in order to take advantage of the interior floor wayfinding, you would have to have interiors on the map. So, if you don't currently have interiors rendered on your map, that would be something we would add first before you could take advantage of that interior leveled wayfinding. Perfect. Jennifer, are there any upcoming updates to registration tracking? That is a great question. Not that I know off of the top of my head, but that's definitely something we can bring back to our product team and follow up with you individually about. But nothing I can speak to today that I've been informed by our product team on updates for that. All right. See if any more filter in over the next minute or two. All right. Think that might have been all of our questions today. So, all right, perfect. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining. Like I said, really great to be able to share all this information with you all. Let us know if you have any specific questions you want to answer individually for your account. Your client success manager will be a great resource to talk through any of that. And yeah, let us know if there's anything that maybe you were hoping that would be on here that wasn't. Would love to hear your ideas on what you're focused on. But we appreciate you and thanks for being a Concept3D customer. And we will talk to you soon.